flooding has forced more than a dozen state of emergencies in central Saskatchewan. Dry conditions in the south are leading to fire bans. And the province is set to make carbon monoxide detectors mandatory in multi-family apartment units.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Portions of central and east central Saskatchewan are underwater tonight, dealing with the aftermath of a large runoff from spring snowstorms. Hallie Mandrick tells us what areas are experiencing the worst flooding and how residents are handling it.
Flooded areas are becoming a common sight across Saskatchewan. This video posted online showing land flooded near Beauval, the water from spring runoff impacting many communities and highways across the province.
I think we're so used to in Saskatchewan being kind of able to go around, and even if the highway closes, cool, you hop on the grid road, right? And you can almost always get to where you need to go. But right now, with the way some of the rural areas are flooding, there are places you can't get to, and there's people being isolated.
As of Monday afternoon, 15 local states of emergency were active across the province, including Shellbrook, Aberdeen, Beardy's Okemos Cree Nation, and other rural municipalities. And at the same time, the Highway Hotline reported 19 closures along several highways across the province. Drivers are being advised to check before traveling.
The hotline actually has a text report. You can actually see a list there that gives a pretty good synopsis, but there's several across sort of the east central and northern parts of the province. There's quite a few.
The flooding is caused by a series of factors, including prolonged winter conditions, which quickly shifted to spring runoff as temperatures increased across Saskatchewan.
By the time May comes around, the temperatures warm up quickly because it's sort of like a pent-up demand where the warmth was denied for so long, but then those seasonal temperatures come back. And so we see the snow melt rapidly happen.
For those living in the affected areas, it can be stressful to keep up with the frequently changing conditions.
Some of the spots that when I got there, about half the road was gone. I talked to people who'd driven through there 3 hours earlier, and they said the road was dry. And it was like good and everything was solid. So like within that 3 hour period, it went from the road's dry to half the road's gone.
According to the Water Security Agency, some areas are expected to see conditions start to improve, while other flooded areas aren't expected to reach their peak flow for another 4 to 6 days. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Meanwhile, near Kenora, Highway 9 is currently closed with portions underwater. Travelers looking to reach Sturgis or heading north are advised to take an alternative route. Authorities on the scene say the water has gone up since last night. West of Kenora, Highway 5 also closed. The water has subsided a bit, but the pavement is at risk of collapsing under vehicles.
Right now, we're only inches away from our flood stage right now, and there's no end of the water coming for the next few weeks.
The area's MLA, Sean Wilson, told CTV News he is in contact with nearby RMs and communities regarding the runoff. Now, if you are experiencing flooding and need assistance from an emergency services officer, you can call 1-800-667-9660 and select option number 5. Meanwhile, in southern Saskatchewan, it's the exact opposite. Warm, dry conditions have put many areas at a high risk or an extreme risk for wildfires. Jacob Carr explains what local fire departments are recommending to stay safe and lower the chances of a blaze.
A swath of southern Saskatchewan is facing dry and windy conditions, the perfect recipe for a tinderbox. The fire department in Kenaston kept busy over the weekend, responding to a handful of fires in a 48-hour span.
We've had some warm days and driving winds, so once a fire starts, it very quickly and easily spreads through that top surface dry layer and can really take off quick.
The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency's Fire Weather Index is currently painted red and yellow when it comes to the southern part of the province, with much of the lower half at high to extreme risk of fires. That includes Melville, whose fire chief says the city recently had to put out a big fire.
We had a fairly substantial grass fire on Friday last week, and it was traveling at a speed that wasn't terribly bad enough, fueled by the winds. But a week from now, if we get no rain, that fire would have been much, much worse.
The dry conditions have caused First Nations like Muscopetang and Cowessess to enact fire bans in their communities. Kenaston and Melville are not currently under any fire bans, but if moisture continues to elude them, the communities will consider putting some sort of a ban in place.
We may put a full fire ban, meaning no incinerators, no burning barrels, that kind of stuff, which is more of a rural thing than a city thing, of course, because most cities have prohibiting factors around doing any kind of burning like that in their cities.
Buckingham says some parts of southern Saskatchewan have received pockets of moisture over the past few days, which will help slightly, and said the ideal conditions in the eyes of a firefighter would be a wet spring followed by some immediate heat leading into summer. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
All right, Sabine joins us for our first look at weather. So it has cooled down a little bit. That would help the conditions a little bit when it comes to wildfires, but that wind could cause a problem.
Yeah, southern Saskatchewan in particular, Lee. We did see windy conditions right across Saskatchewan, but in southern Saskatchewan, especially if we're talking about Regina, we had wind gusts up to about 70 kilometers an hour, if not stronger than that in some parts of the southern half of Saskatchewan today, and much cooler temperatures than what we would have liked to have seen for May, the beginning of May anyway. Our average daytime high usually about 16 degrees. Today we warmed up to about 5 degrees. And nowhere close to what last year's daytime high was of 30 degrees. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any 30 degrees days in our future in the next week at least, but we do have a warm up on the way. And we did see a little precipitation today coming through parts of southern Saskatchewan in the form of a rain and possibly some light flurries. But as we head into the rest of this week, dry conditions continue with a lot of sunshine and the wind starting to calm down as we see the temperatures climb up. And I'll have more details coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thanks, Sabine. Water Security Agency says there is no risk to human health following a recent diesel spill in the South Saskatchewan River in Alberta. CTV's Stacey Hine explains why.
The Water Security Agency says it's monitoring conditions after a train engine spilled about 800 liters of diesel into the South Saskatchewan River. The agency says it was notified of the spill near Medicine Hat late last Thursday. It says Canadian Pacific, Kansas City Rail, and Alberta have environmental response teams on site assessing and containing the situation, and says the risk to Saskatchewan's water supply is extremely low.
Given the quantities of the spill and the volumes in the river, it was determined to be no risk to human health by the time it would get to the Saskatchewan border.
It says, out of caution, communities downstream have been notified. The town of Leader says its reservoir is full and it won't need to draw water until the contamination has passed. The mayor of Beaver Flat also says no major impact is expected there. The city of Saskatoon, which gets its water from the South Saskatchewan River, says there's no risk to the public. The Water Security Agency says it typically takes 4 to 8 days for water to travel from Medicine Hat to Lake Diefenbaker, and by then the city expects any remaining diesel will be next to none.
It's a very large body of water. We expect the diesel to basically evaporate before it hits that, but even if it didn't, the amount of diesel that would be remaining would be basically undetectable from a scientific standpoint.
A University of Saskatchewan environment professor says fuel spills are always concerning and can have both immediate and lasting effects.
Many of us are familiar with, images of seeing wildlife or birds impacted by oil. We also have the impacts, for example, in the sediments and different areas where you can get those contaminants moving into the food chain.
The Water Security Agency says it will continue working with other provincial agencies and Alberta officials to continue monitoring conditions in the days ahead. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Carbon monoxide detectors could soon be mandatory in all multi-family apartment units in Saskatchewan. The provincial government says tighter regulations will be announced this week. It follows the carbon monoxide death of an 11-year-old boy in Regina back in December. Wayne Mantika has the details.
On board.
This Regina family has been pushing for more stringent detector regulations since the December carbon monoxide death of their son.
Because we don't think any other children in this province should die. No more. It's got to stop. My son should be the last one.
11-year-old Henry Losco died on December 19th following a carbon monoxide leak in a Regina apartment building. Authorities blame a faulty boiler. The family says no carbon monoxide detector sounded on their floor. The government says new regulations will be announced this week.
I think that there's an area of improvement for individual carbon monoxide detection for individuals residing in multi-unit dwellings. It's something that we need to address, and we are going to be addressing in the next 24 to 48 hours.
It's expected that detectors will be required in every multi-family unit. Landlords will be given a period to comply. The NDP support the change.
And there is the investigation that is currently ongoing that will delve into those broader, deeper questions, and we'll look forward to seeing what those findings are from that report to see, what further kind of governance oversight enhancements can be made.
With the change, Saskatchewan's carbon monoxide detector requirements are expected to become the most stringent in Canada. The government says it will encourage other provinces to follow suit. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
High rates of family and intimate partner violence in Saskatchewan continues to persist compared to other provinces, with RCMP receiving almost 10,000 reports of incidents last year alone. Sierra D'Souza Butts explain why Saskatchewan continues to see the highest victim rate and what support services are in place.
Brenda Ottenbright says exposure to family violence growing up played a part in her own journey in what she describes as an emotionally abusive relationship for 12 years of her life.
When you live in a relationship like that, you have no self-esteem. You lose who you are. You end up being in survival mode.
She's far from alone. In 2025, Saskatchewan RCMP responded to almost 10,000 reports of family and intimate partner violence. That was down slightly from the previous year, but Saskatchewan still has the highest victim rate in the country.
It's never just as simple as, why don't these individuals leave? Why don't they get out and get help? The remote nature of where they're located is contributing to a lot of barriers structurally for those individuals.
The province's northern region accounts for more than half of those cases, but even in larger centers like Regina, there are consistent wait lists for emergency shelters.
It's not due to a lack of desire to help these families, it's due to a lack of resources.
Sophia House, a long-term housing shelter for women and children who are fleeing violent homes, says more housing is one tool needed to better support victims.
Increased awareness, education, and resources from all levels of government, opportunities to collaborate with other organizations, but also being able to look at other provinces and communities that seem to be doing something right.
In the fall, the government of Saskatchewan introduced its Cyber Stalking and Coercive Control Act, which recognizes cyber stalking and online harassment, as well as coercive and controlling behavior as a form of interpersonal violence. The province said in a statement, it's dedicated to supporting victims and survivors of violence through legislation, funding, and programming, along with preventative education and awareness programs. A search for long-term solutions to an issue with long-reaching effects. More than a decade later, Ottenbright is still battling through family court and trying to heal.
So this isn't going away with me because my children have suffered. I'm showing them me trying to heal, but my children have to heal too.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The province is using new legislation to combat Ottawa's federal gun buyback program. As Keenan Sorcon explains, the changes are aimed at keeping guns in the possession of lawfully abided gun owners.
The province is fighting the federal gun buyback program. Legislation now in force allows Saskatchewan gun owners to apply for certificates and exemptions to keep their prohibited firearms.
It makes sure that Saskatchewan property owners know that nobody's coming for their gun.
After years of talks, Ottawa launched its assault-style firearms compensation program, a mandatory buyback initiative aiming to remove 2,500 makes of prohibited guns. It describes describes as assault style. To combat that program, the province has launched an app available on its website where gun owners can apply for guns to be verified and appraised before a certificate can be mailed, protecting gun owners once the program's amnesty period ends on October 30th.
The individual would have to be satisfied with whatever compensation is being offered and inform through the process the Saskatchewan Firearms Office before it could be seized or destroyed.
The process allows gun owners to be exempt from prosecution after the deadline while allowing for fair market compensation, something the federal government has capped with limited funding.
A firearm is deemed worthless by the federal government. We call that a seizure. If a firearm is now deemed seized, that entitles the owner to fair market value, not the arbitrary value that the federal government might be putting on that gun.
Police are pleased resources won't be tied up chasing gun owners doing nothing wrong.
It all comes down to prioritization. What can we do to make sure that the precious resources that we have with frontline policing can concentrate on the things that really mean to our communities?
McLeod says while the federal government has jurisdiction over firearms legislation, the province has jurisdiction over personal property legislation, and guns will remain with their owners unless the federal government is willing to pay up. Keenan Sorakhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A defamation case against a University of Regina professor has reached the province's highest court. She is appealing a ruling which found a comment on a social media post nearly 10 years ago harmed the reputation of a Saskatchewan author. Donovan Mace has more.
A nearly decade-old Facebook comment is at the center of an appeal hearing as a University of Regina professor attempts to reverse a ruling that her comment about a book defamed the author. In 2016, Candace McLean wrote, "When police become prey, the cold, hard facts of Neil Stonechild's freezing death," which examined the inquiry into Stonechild's death and challenged the commission's findings that the 17-year-old was in the custody of two Saskatoon police officers the night he froze to death in November 1990. The officers were fired from the service as part of a broader scandal called Starlight Tours, where police were accused of dropping Indigenous people on the outskirts of the city in freezing temperatures. When the book was released, it was met by backlash and protest, and in a Facebook comment, University of Regina professor Michelle Stewart called it racist garbage, launching McLean's lawsuit. Stewart was found liable for defamation in June. Appealing the lower court's decision Monday, Stewart's lawyer Jason Clayard saying it was a comment on a post which already called Miss McLean a colonial racist. Any damage that was done to Miss McLean's reputation was already done before Stewart made her comment. In response, McLean's counsel Tavingwa Raniawa believes the appellant should not have judged the book by its cover, adding the fact Stewart did not read the book and could not point to her foundation in the facts is telling. Now, McLean is also counter-appealing the damages charged in this case, saying more should have been awarded. The panel of justices has reserved its decision to a later date. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The first data hall for Bell's major AI complex in the Regina area is slated to come online in the first half of 2027, according to the company's new update on the project. Early site work began the day after receiving approval from the RM of Sherwood last month, a process for those opposed to the project considered controversial. In a release today, Bell outlined a list of 8 construction partners for the early phase of the project. 7 of them are Saskatchewan-based, the other from Manitoba. BCE is the parent company of Bell Media and CTV News. Still ahead, the federal government offers a loan program for Canadian steel, copper, and aluminum industries. And deaths aboard a cruise liner caused by the hantavirus. Ottawa is spending money to help steel, aluminum producers, a $1 billion loan program for businesses hurt by Donald Trump's tariffs. The U.S. president last week also extended the tax to more products. Michael Couture has more on how the loan will work and who will benefit.
For 14 months, steel, aluminum, and copper companies have been trying not to fold under the pressure of punishing tariffs from the U.S. It's been tough for companies like Bow-Rock, which makes dump bodies for dump trucks.
90% of what we manufacture crosses the border. So for us, what's happening is really critical to our business.
And many are hoping for an end to the trade war, but even senior cabinet ministers can't say if or when that will be.
You don't know, I don't know. So this is not up to us to answer that question because these decisions will be taken south of our border.
It's why the federal government is announcing a new $1 billion loan program for companies affected by the tariffs. The 3-year loans will be worth between $2 and $50 million, with the first year being interest-free.
Short term, our goal is to provide liquidities to companies in order for them to keep their workers.
Conservatives say loans aren't the answer.
We were reading this announcement today very concerned that there is no deal coming at all, and the Liberals have said nothing to the contrary.
Canada's Auditor General hasn't seen details of this loan program, but in 2024, Karen Hogan's report was critical of pandemic-era business loans, saying those programs lacked value for money, and she hopes that mistake isn't repeated.
So I would expect that any loan program would have a goal and an objective, and that the government would set itself out at the beginning, at the start, as they design this, to have a way to measure value for money and outcomes for Canadians.
The government says there will be a process and scope for approving the loans with additional follow-up. Minister Joly added the government is working on similar relief for the forestry and softwood lumber sectors. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister used his short trip to Armenia to announce that Canada is sending more military aid to Ukraine, along with pointed words about the rules-based order being rebuilt in Europe. Graham Richardson has the details.
Prime Minister Mark Carney announced more aid for Ukraine's war with Russia, another $270 million.
You have all of Canada behind you, standing with the people of Ukraine.
Bringing Canada's total contributions to the war to over $25 billion. The munitions for Ukraine will come from the United States, despite pressure because of the Iran war. Carney says the Americans will be able to meet Ukraine's needs.
It's a question of financing and getting them there. We're doing that. We're getting them there. That's the first point. Second, we had made a commitment earlier this year in February, $2.4 billion for Ukraine, Canadian. So this is part of that overall commitment. We're continuing to provide it. It's part of a bigger puzzle in a conflict where Ukraine is gaining some advantage.
Carney is the first non-European leader to be invited here. The European political community was established after Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022.
It's my strong personal view that as the international order will be rebuilt, but it will be rebuilt out of Europe.
Antonio Costa is the president of the European Council. He says Carney's Davos speech, where he called on like-minded countries to band together in uncertain times, is part of the reason Carney was invited here.
Canada is one of the closest countries in the world to Europe. It's the most like-minded country, and we share a same vision of the world.
This is the Spanish national
Yes. This was a short visit with just under 30 hours on the ground in Armenia. Despite some criticism from opposition, Carney says this kind of direct engagement is critical for Canada.
The importance of alliances with reliable partners, deepening those alliances has become ever more so.
This deeper connection between Canada and Europe will continue. Mark Carney has the G7 coming up in the south of France in June. He was also asked to speak to the European Parliament sometime in the future, which he immediately agreed to. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Yerevan, Armenia.
3 people are dead after a suspected hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship in the Atlantic. This is the MV Hondius, currently anchored off Cape Verde. A Dutch husband and wife, along with a German national, have died. 3 other people are receiving medical attention. The ship departed Argentina about 3 weeks ago. Hantavirus is typically passed to humans from rodents and can cause a severe and potentially fatal respiratory illness. Coming up, celebrating movies, comics, cosplay, and all things entertainment at PopCon in Saskatoon.
Welcome back. It certainly looks a little gloomy out there. We did have some rain in parts of the city first thing this morning, and then throughout the day we have seen some light flurries in the city, and actually just in southern Saskatchewan we've seen some of those light flurries. Now the temperature didn't really warm up much. We warmed up to about 5 degrees late this afternoon, currently sitting at 4. Winds now just over 35 kilometers an hour, but the winds have still been gusting over the last hour up to about 50, and earlier we did see strong wind gusts up to about 70 kilometers an hour. Now heading into tomorrow we should start to see those winds calm slightly, and we should clear out all of that precipitation that we're seeing over the last couple of hours that we have seen coming through southern Saskatchewan, but then we will continue to see cloudier conditions depending on, you know what, I'm just going to show you what we've got coming up. This is what we have heading into tomorrow. So you can see along the eastern border there, we could see some more scattered flurries and cloudier conditions first thing in the morning, and then clearer conditions in the west, and parts of south central Saskatchewan could see a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day, and then it won't be until we head into Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning where we start to see conditions clear more, so we see more sunshine, less cloud cover, and again not really seeing any precipitation over the next few days in southern Saskatchewan in particular. Now clouds starting to roll in Wednesday night from the west, and then we'll see some of that scattered precipitation by the time we get into Thursday morning. Now it's very light rain showers that we're expecting to see. It's not a big system that's going to be sticking around for long or leaving large rainfall totals. And as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nearing the end of the week, those temperatures are going to be warming up quite a bit as well, back into seasonal range at least. Temperatures tomorrow, though, still cooler than average. Laloche, 9 degrees, sunshine there, mainly sunny for Lloydminster, 9 degrees. Cloudy in Prince Albert, +8, and 6 and cloudy in La Ronge. As we get into Saskatoon, 8 and mainly sunny. We're back into double digits for North Battleford, 10 degrees and sunshine there, but much cooler in Yorkton. Seeing the cloudier conditions, and again expecting to see some of those scattered flurries throughout the day tomorrow. 4 degrees is the expected high for Yorkton. The southwest, usually we see much warmer temperatures, but still within just below seasonal. Maple Creek, 10 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. 9 for Swift Current and a mix of sun and cloud. And 8 degrees for Moose Jaw and a mix of sun and cloud. And you may have noticed also that the lows throughout Saskatchewan tonight still much cooler than average. We're usually sitting around +2, +3 degrees. We're going to be below 0 for most of Saskatchewan tonight. Rain expected for Weyburn tonight, but warming up to 7 degrees and cloudy conditions tomorrow. Same with Estevan tomorrow, cloudy and 7. And Assiniboia, a mix of sun and cloud and 7 degrees. If we take a closer look at Regina tonight, -3 is our expected low. Winds up to 40 kilometers an hour, so still expecting some wind tonight with the clouds sticking around throughout the evening and into tomorrow. 5 is what we're warming up to, so not a big warm up, basically exactly what we saw today, but expecting to see a little bit more sunshine with a mix of sun and cloud and winds up to 45 kilometers an hour. But ahead, we're looking quite nice, especially by the time we even get into Wednesday. Sunnier conditions, still cooler than average, but +11 is the expected high. By Thursday, mainly sunny, 13 degrees, and just as your weekend approaches, we do warm up, but we have a windy Friday ahead. Winds expected to be gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour, but 17 expected as your daytime high on Friday and on Saturday. But we start to see a little bit more cloud cover rolling in. By Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud, 16 degrees. And then to start your work week, Monday, mix of sun and cloud and 18 degrees. And even the lows, you'll notice that the lows start warming up as well from below 0, warming back up into that seasonal range. So we're going to see that gradual warm up, not really seeing much precipitation, so dry conditions expected to continue and a windier Friday expected, but hopefully for the next couple of days, less wind, warmer temperatures.
Yes, warmer temperatures. You're already talking about next work week, the start of the work week. I just got to get through this one.
I know, but the warm up is coming this week. Just fight through today and tomorrow.
All right, we'll wait for it. Thank you.
Okay, you bet.
Well, the Sask Expo Regina dissolving last year, PopCon in Saskatoon is really Saskatchewan's biggest comic and entertainment expo. And while it isn't on the same level as, say, the event in Calgary a week prior, visitors enjoyed playing games and dressing up as their favorite character. Hallie Mandrick has more.
I'm looking for a droid. Seen any droids?
Crazy characters, your favorite superheroes, along with games and entertainment. PopCon had it all in Saskatoon this weekend, and the event has quickly grown in its 2 years.
There was previous iterations of PopCon, which were mildly successful. Last year was the first year we branded it that name. Took off, we've grown, and yeah, we're bigger than better than ever.
This year saw a steady increase in attendance and entertainment. For those who have been around for the various iterations of the event, it's promising to see the convention grow within Saskatoon.
It's gotten real big. I've noticed it's really incredible how people are. I'm just glad they're able to still have this.
This year's PopCon was also strategically timed to follow Calgary's version of the event, which means that talents like makeup artist Amanda Tozer can showcase their work to more fans across different provinces.
My fun part is when I hear the blood-curdling screams, and then I'm like, yay, I did my job, right? And here at these expos, people want to see the magic, and they want to see the creatures, and they want to have fun with it, right? So I like being a part of that.
And the hours of work that went into Tozer's idea certainly paid off.
We do get a reaction. This is what we do. So we love making the magic, and the work, it's an iceberg. So there's 90% of it you don't see. You don't see all the work that comes into this. You see the 10% of the magic.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, the Prince Albert Raiders advance to the WHL Championship Final after taming the Tigers in Medicine Hat. Just days away from rookie camp in Saskatoon, the Saskatchewan Roughriders bringing in some local junior football talent.
Carter Ashman waggles out to the right to hand it off to Borsch, breaks a tackle, and he's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. He's in for the touchdown.
Last year's PFC rushing leader, Regina Thunder running back Peter Borsch, Thunder receiver Benjamin Walls, and Hilltop's running back Corbin Eben will all be at camp as territorial junior invites this year. In the past, several junior players have earned their way onto the team eventually, like Dan Clark, Stu Ford, and current rider Logan Furland. And as reported last month, U of S Huskies quarterback Jake Farrell will lead the team to a trip to the Vanier Cup, where he did. He's going to join the team under the CFL QB internship program. So a lot of local faces. Riders also signing 4 undrafted Canadians. That includes U of R Rams defensive back Carson Sumbach. The Regina product was named a second-team U Sports All-Canadian. The Riders also announcing they've signed 5 of their draft picks, including second-round receiver Dylan Jetta and third-round pick O-lineman Darius Bell. So a lot of new faces to be there for rookie camp, which is just days away. Hey, for the second time in 7 years, the Prince Albert Raiders are headed to the WHL final as East Conference champions.
Crosses the Tiger line. Doobie shoots, scores. Braden Doobie.
Riley Boychuk, a pair of goals, including the game winner midway through the third as the Raiders hang on to beat Medicine Hat 7-6. They win the conference final series 4-2. Defenseman Daxon Rudolph had 3 points on the night. Now leads WHL scoring with 23 points. He's draft eligible for the NHL this year. He's going to go high. Raiders advance to the championship series where they'll face the Silvertips. Game 1 starts in Everett on Friday. PA will host game 3 through 5 on the 12th, the 13th, and the 15th. Now, Saskatchewan has had a pretty good run getting to the WHL final recently. In the last 8 postseasons, with COVID canceling 2020 and 2021, 5 of the East Conference champs have come from this province. Regina Pats in 2017, the only team on the list to lose that final. Swift Current Broncos in 2018, Prince Albert in 2019, Moose Jaw Warriors in 2024. And this year will be the Raiders again. Now, between 1995 and 2017, so before this, Saskatchewan only had 1 team make the final. That was Moose Jaw in 2006, and they were swept by Vancouver. So a good era in Saskatchewan hockey in the WHL right now. The National Aboriginal Hockey Championships are in Regina this week. 14 under-18 teams competing, 7 men and 7 women from First Nation, Inuit, and Métis communities from across Canada. The event is held in a different city each year, and this is the first time Saskatchewan is hosting since 2012.
We have the cultural component also, right? So when the teams aren't playing, they're back at the U of R campus, and there's ceremonial teaching, cultural teachings, and stuff like that. We have elders over there. We have there's a couple sweats that are going to be happening this week. So it's going to be open to the players and coaches.
The tournament is free for the public to watch. The championship games will be held on Saturday. Still ahead, another quick sellout for a popular toy in Regina.
Let's take a look at what your rural forecast is looking like heading into tomorrow. Again, still cooler than average for most of Saskatchewan tomorrow, and cloudier conditions along the eastern border there. So obviously Hudson Bay, Wynyard, seeing cloudier conditions, 4 degrees there, 6 and cloudy for Melfort, and then over in the west, 9 degrees for Lloydminster and Kindersley, both seeing a mix of sun and cloud. 9 and sunny for Meadow Lake, 8 and mainly sunny for Watrous, 8 and a mix of sun and cloud for Spiritwood. And Outlook, getting into the double digits, 10 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. Closer to the southern border, we're probably going to see pretty much the same temperatures as we just saw there. 10 degrees for Leader and Maple Creek with a mix of sun and cloud. 7 and a mix of sun and cloud for Assiniboia and East End Cypress. Rosetown sunnier, 10 degrees there, and 5 degrees for Lumsden and Pilot Butte with a mix of sun and cloud. Right along the east, 4 degrees for Kenora, Broadview, Carlisle, all expecting cloudy conditions for most of the day tomorrow. Should see more sunshine when we get into Wednesday. If we take a closer look at Hanley, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel, located about 200 kilometers northwest of Regina, warming up to 8 degrees tomorrow, mainly sunny. Will feel closer to about 5 tomorrow, and expecting the winds up to about 35 kilometers an hour.
The incidents have been happening since January 2026 at a business on the 1800 block of East Victoria Avenue. A man has entered the store several times and has stolen several $1,000s worth of merchandise. The Regina Police Service is hoping someone will recognize this man with the pictures provided. If you know who this man is, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Zippity Zoom Toys held another Neato launch over the weekend, and fans of the squishy toy were lined up down the block just to get their fill. A 10 a.m. launch saw people waiting for the store to open hours later, the line stretching down to Service Road all the way to the South Albert McDonald's. The fidget toy that comes in several different variations is currently a hit amongst all age demographic, but namely kids.
We got here around 7:50. It was pretty long. We were probably around like the little curve down there. Now I have 6.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, the Dream Drops.
Why is that your favorite?
Because they feel super nice.
Neato has been around for years, but only became popular after being featured on TikTok and Instagram. I think our boss was stuck in that line this weekend. A large appliance supplier in Saskatchewan and across Canada has filed for creditor protection. Coast Appliances, which has locations in Saskatoon and Regina, filed for creditor protection last month. According to court documents, the CEO and board of directors resigned on April 15th, making the collapse of company leadership, or marking, the collapse of company leadership. It says a financial advisor was not able to negotiate a restructuring plan, so the company is liquidizing its entire stock. Fishing season in Saskatchewan begins this week with the southern zone opening up tomorrow.
You got to have your license, and you got to have a rod and rail combo.
The southern zone stretches as far north as Meadow Lake, Prince Albert, and Nipawin. Central and northern zones will open on May 15th and May 25th, respectively. Fishers are advised to check the Provincial Angler's Guide for regulations and limits and buy their fishing licenses online, by phone, or in person at the Ministry of Environment field offices. All right, farm markets for you. Canola Street prices down $2.70 to $694.83 per ton, while the futures price is up $2.50 to $758.80 per ton. Street prices for Amber Durham wheat stay the same, $278.59 per ton, while red spring wheat is down 7 cents to $291.83 per ton. Feed barley, $250.88 per ton. Flax is $630.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. Markets both going down. The TSX dropped by 252 points. The Dow Jones by 557 points. The Canadian dollar, it followed suit, down a little more than 1/10 of a cent to 73.46 cents U.S. On the commodities front, gold up 65 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude up $4.48. Western Canadian Select crude went the other way, down $3.25. So we take a look at the gas prices in Regina. Still terrible, sitting at $1.89.9 per liter.
Video game retailer GameStop wants to buy eBay. It made a cash and stock offer of about $55.5 billion U.S. for the e-commerce platform. GameStop has been trying to find new revenue streams since consumers have turned away from brick stores to buy games online. GameStop is a U.S. $11 billion company. eBay is a U.S. $48 billion company. It says it has received the offer and its board will review it. Home sales in Vancouver dropped about 3% in April compared to April of 2025. Prices were also down. The composite benchmark for all residential properties was just over $1 million. That's about 7% lower this year than last. More detached homes changed hands in April in the Vancouver area and fewer condos. Auto sales were also down in April by about 4% year over year. DesRosiers automotive consultant says it's a reasonable selling pace given the headwinds. One of those headwinds, the price of gas, which has skyrocketed since March because of the conflict in Iran. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we have The Big Bang Theory, brought to you by Hockey Fanatics, then everyone's favorite trivia game, The Quiz with Balls, the Wookiee.
Rookie.
You see what I did there? Because we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah. And another Big Bang. All right, yes, we are talking. Fans of the iconic Star Wars franchise are celebrating Star Wars Day, a pseudo holiday, so to speak, for fans.
Yeah, the annual May the 4th celebration sees fans marking the occasion with nods to their beloved sci-fi series that has united movie lovers for decades. This year's celebration comes ahead of the release of the latest movie in the franchise, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Correct.
Thank you, which will be released May 22nd. You're a Star Wars fan, right?
I watch it, but I'm not celebrating May the 4th, I'll tell you that right now.
All right, well, in support of Telemiracle 2027, the Queen City Kinsmen and Pure Country came together for the inaugural Glow Pitch Tournament.
Yeah, so this tournament consisted of 15 teams playing on 2 makeshift diamonds. It's not bad camera work. This is how dark it was sometimes inside the Highland Curling Club. Black lights replace regular lights, so it's a glow stick inside a wiffle ball.
Oh.
And there you have it, glow pitch, using a plastic bat.
And you were on a team.
Yeah, President of the Regina Queen City Kingsmen, Craig McGilvery, brought forward the idea 2 years ago, drawing inspiration from plastic bat and ball in Martinsville, which has been going for 25 years.
I chaired Telemiracle back in 2012-13, and I kept getting asked that question of what we wanted our total to be. And you know what? Whatever we end up with at the end of the day is more money than we had in the bank. So, you know, if we raise $2 or $10,000, you know, there's always a goal you want, you know, in around that 5 to 10 grand, and we'll see where we end up at the end of the week.
The tournament ran from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Saturday. I'm assuming that includes the cabaret. I don't think many games are going on at 12. And 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday.
And how'd your team do?
I only played in half. It was a bunch of CTV people. I think they lost every single game except the last one. So that's good.
All for a good cause, though.
It's all for a good cause, unless you strike out 12 times for someone I won't mention her name.
Donovan?